All
I
right.
can
Welcome
be.
to
I
the
can be.
Parsons podcast again. We had some technical difficulties when we first did it. Lost probably about what do you think? 15 minutes?
Yes. Okay. Nothing important for sure.
Damn it. But
I
with
tripped over.
me today is Dylan Brockway. Introduce yourself, Dylan. Tell all of
Yeah.
our listeners who you are
Oh, hello.
and where you're from.
Hello. I'm Dylan Brockway. Not really from. I'm just kind of going, somewhere. I don't. I'm not really from anywhere. And I don't worry about that too much.
Oh, okay.
I'm a guitarist and a songwriter, and
That's
I promise that's all that got me on here, I suppose. So.
Oh, and also you're an awesome, you're an amazing songwriter, but you're also a great person, man. And I wanted to bring you in here and have a lovely conversation with you. We've
Oh,
already
thank you so
had
much for
some great
having me. Thank you.
conversation that we lost, unfortunately,
We're
because of
very
my
intimate.
technical difficulties.
We're very intimate right now. We're having a very intimate setting. I'm all in your frame here. Right
But
next to each other.
unfortunately, you're gonna have to repeat yourself a little bit. But the first question I usually ask everybody is, what got you started playing music, man? And I know you already went into that, but you can make it brief.
Oh, nothing really. I got into I got gifted a guitar when I was very young. I was about 9 or 10 probably, and I didn't know how to play it, and I didn't really have any interest at first in playing it. I just kind of liked the idea of having a guitar.
Yeah.
And when I got very involved in starting to write, I realized that there's probably something I could do with the both of the things together. I started writing long before I started playing the guitar, though.
Yeah, you mentioned that. You said you got really into writing,
Yeah.
and it was like a solace for you. It was like a very special thing that nobody could take away.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had a lot of inconsistencies growing up, so writing was very much a constant, and sometimes what felt like an only outlet for me. And there was no structure at first to the writing at all. It's just kind of getting anything out, those crazy thoughts you don't want to tell anybody. And when I was introduced to a few Beatles albums, a few Bob Dylan albums, some Rolling Stone records, Led Zeppelin, things like that, I kind of realized the structures of possibility with writing a song and putting words to music. And so I figured out three or four guitar chords, simple enough. I never had any lessons, but I did the best I could with what I had, which
Right
was
on.
nothing.
Did you learn a couple of Beatles songs when you were younger
Yes, it was the strangest thing, though. I strummed a lot on the guitar, and I loved to do it whenever I could get away with it. But I didn't really fight to go out of my way to learn every song I loved. And a lot of people, that's kind of the first thing they tackle. That's the first thing they get out of their belt, get a lot of the songs down that they love and adore. And I never really got into that mindset. It was so much more about the writing for me than the guitar itself. I never heard any melodies on the guitar, like individual notes for a song. Rarely would I be playing the guitar, and that's how I came up with a pattern. It was always the words first. So.
Oh, that's interesting, man. Because I take the opposite approach at least with songwriting.
I'd like to get better at that.
Yeah. I mean that's just came to me naturally though. Like when I first started playing the guitar, I learned like 3 or 4 chords, same kind of thing. But I wasn't interested in learning any songs right away. I wanted to write. And I think the reason for that is because I started as just a singer.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody played music for me. I didn't have to play any of the music.
Didn't have to worry about it.
But then my family moved, and I found myself in the position without a band, and I didn't want to necessarily stop being a singer, and said, I guess I need to learn how to play the guitar, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And I guess I just wanted to write. Because I always wrote too. I always wrote in journals, and I tried my hand at fiction, writing stories and just telling stories and stuff like that, and it kind of developed into songwriting.
Yeah.
When did you find that spark where, as a songwriter, where you started coming up with your own chord progressions and taking your words and applying them to music?
I guess that when I got really into that classic rock type of stuff, I really was infatuated with that type of sound. And
Nice.
for the longest time, I didn't really stray into any other types of music. It was all very much that 60s, 70s type of rock. Pretty, excuse me. I have my management here. Don't be intimidated by his presence.
He's just chilling.
I brought
He's
my
just chilling over
entire
there.
entourage here.
Nice, nice. Yeah, they're chilling on the couch right now.
The whole.
Um, but
It was it was very much finding these chords that I could find simple circles out of. I can just go back and repeat this progression over and over, and like parts of John Lennon's career, certainly a lot of Bob Dylan's writing was very much these structured verses, and there wasn't necessarily a chorus. Maybe there was a refrain, the last line. The last line rhymed, every verse.
yeah, they didn't follow that traditional structure where it's like verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus, bridge, verse, chorus.
And I always wrote. I loved communicating from a very young age. I was very good at it. It was like the one thing I knew I was good at was I always found conversation with adults as often as possible, even as a 9-10-year-old, because I found it stimulated me much more than the average 9-year-old imbecile, And now, 20-something-year-old imbecile,
Yeah, well, we
What's
are who we are. We're all imbeciles, man.
We are.
Every single one of us.
Yeah, those
we just
kids
happen to grow old, and
Those
think.
kids I knew back then, yeah, they're still idiots. So yeah, no, I'm just kidding. The adults were idiots too, but
Yeah,
I loved the stimulation of the communication. I also loved the fact that you could tell a story. But I was so into symbolism. I was so into metaphorical, like hyperbole, that type of storytelling, where it didn't have to be very straightforward. Sometimes it was, but it didn't have to be. It could be left up to interpretation. Because everybody has different things come to mind. Every word you say, I could say house and green even.
Oh yeah,
And you're picturing two completely different things.
It's going to do something in my brain that's different than anybody else that hears those two words. They might think of green as the color of their favorite blanket when they were a kid, and then they would be like, well, that blanket was over at my grandma's house, so like house green, and that's just off the top of my head.
Oh,
But
yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
interpretation and songwriting, they go hand in hand. I mean,
I find that so beautiful too.
yeah. Oh, yeah. And I mean, I could listen to a song and think one thing about it, and think it's about this one certain subject, and you can listen to it and think it's about something completely and totally different. And that's what's beautiful about songwriting and words and even stories. You know what I mean? Jesus, the oldest stories ever are in the Bible, right? Or at least
Some of
they're
the
pretty
oldest
old,
stories, yeah.
and they could be they're still to this day are interpreted differently by all kinds of different people.
A few
So-
armed discussions about the Bible, even maybe. people, people get heated up.
They do. They
But
really do.
Interpretation, I found some mystical. that so many people could come up. And you could speak something so seemingly simplistic, and everyone's receiving something completely different.
Oh yeah.
So it makes communication seem, at times, impossible. Like if you've ever had a thought about how come society can't agree on stuff like this, how come we can't all just be on the same page? But then you have to realize everybody has these completely different webs they're pulling from with every single word. It's hard to reach everybody. What I loved about art is that, that's not what you were going for,
No.
and it makes things it's so freeing. And I loved the idea of storytelling. Or if it wasn't storytelling, you're pushing across the theme or message of a feeling, not necessarily, like the message isn't necessarily worded.
Mm.
Like, what's the message of this song? What's the theme of this song? It doesn't have to be, it can be based on atmosphere, the feeling that you're trying to get across to somebody. And so someone may have never experienced anything that you have that you're writing or thinking about, but the feeling is relatable.
Oh sure.
The stripped down reductionist type of feeling.
Do your own songs bring like when you listen to your own music back and are maybe listen to it or critiquing it yourself or whatever, do you ever get a different interpretation from the song than you originally intended?
Oh, a lot of times my songs that I write will change on accident, and I know most people probably do this, but it's not even when I'm listening back, but while you're actually performing, one line turns into a different line, and then
Yeah.
one word is substituted for a word that you're like, oh, that's so much better. It fits so much
Fun, right?
fits so much better. Or or to sing something and find a new relation with what you must have meant or what you may have meant, or it is interesting because so much of that is so subliminal. I write like a madman. I'm always writing, and so I could put a song together if I did have a nice little progression, or if somebody wanted to. We just jump on stage a lot.
Yeah.
We play at a lot of the same little venue places. So I if we're just playing through a progression, I have verses and verses and verses that I've written that are unrelated, and
Oh,
so
cool. What was that?
I don't know if you're gonna pick that up. Can we turn the radio off over here? And this is Abu right here, master pepper maker, turmeric consumer, and he actually Abu Rafiq, my best friend here, actually has published 5 books you can find.
Wow.
Collections of poetry, short stories.
Oh, that's awesome.
And he's just finishing his first full-length novel, which I very much admire.
Wow.
Um,
That's impressive. That's awesome, man. Where can we find that?
Oh, you can search his name on Amazon. You can search his name, and he sells through Lulu.com.
Oh, okay, cool.
Barnes
I'll
and
have to
Noble.
check
Oh
that
yeah, you
out.
can find it on. It's real.
And you're working on something as well. You told
Um,
me a while ago. You were working on something that,
Since
that
you
wanted to
started your
publish.
event in Warrenton in the early morn of 2017,
The brisk early morn
the
with a cup of
the
tea.
cruel winter morning air of 2017. Nobody knew how terrible it could be, and I think it was 2018, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was 18.
We started.
January.
When did we start that? It's been almost a year.
That's okay. It was January,
it's
I
been-
believe.
yeah.
I think it was the very beginning of the year, and I made sure I was out there all the time.
Yes.
Support,
Thank you.
show my
thank
support
you.
for my favorite brother and sister in the whole world. Seriously, I love you two so much. I have so much love in my heart for you two.
Yeah, thank you, man. So do we, dude. So do we.
When I first told you about the book, I've written and thrown away a book and a half. Since
Oh man,
then.
that's what writers
deleted,
do.
deleted.
You're never.
No,
You're never. I mean, that's what writers do. I'm sure you can agree, right? You've probably rewritten the same paragraph 1,000 times.
Bob? Oh yes.
I mean, that's.
To kill your darlings, right? Allen Ginsberg said you must kill your darlings. No, these things that you get so close to, I think my interpretation is that sometimes you have to scrap it, sometimes it doesn't work, and it can't work. So
Yeah.
come up with these beautiful characters, these webs, these storylines, and sometimes you just have to get rid of it. It doesn't fit. It doesn't fit. I wrote a book on political reformation, and it was very dense, not a fun read or anything, but it was cited by constitutional law books. There were articles of federal reformation, things that all of people our age can agree about. A lot of people like this, how they'd say on the internet or something, they'd say like the woke people.
Progressive.
But not like that type of woke where it's like, oh, I'm too smart to know the Earth is a globe. Not those type of people. I mean, actual, stimulated, intellectually capable young adults. Progressive is very much a good blanket term to use. People like us understand stuff like that.
Okay.
Things that were in the book, but there are very much declarations from our young generation to the rest of the age groups that this is, no matter what you think, this is how it will be from this day forward. That this is our world now, and unlike any other generation before, the younger generations are taking their step towards.
Do you take that route with your songwriting as well?
So I guess the book I had written that I scrapped completely was sections of different things. It's like recreational marijuana, police accountability, I suppose, is a blanket term. Things that were very specified,
Yeah.
and so I delve into them, writing a story or creating an atmosphere in a poem or a book. Not a book, I'm sorry, or a song, demands none of that structure, and that's what's so freeing. The one line doesn't have anything to do, doesn't have to have anything to do with the next.
Yeah, it could be completely scattered if you want.
So,
That's
like,
the beauty of songwriting.
When I first started spending a lot of time with my friend Abu here, he told me of a quote of somebody who was studying to portray a writer. I forget who it was, but he said that what he respected so much was the single drive that it required to finish a novel. And so with a novel, I had in the 6x9 template for the book or whatever, however it would have been printed, it was 3, 4, 500 pages, and it's like, this is
Wow.
ridiculous. It's way too much, and editing it down seemed like a nightmare. And with a story or a poem, like what's the quote? You know, a poem is never finished, only abandoned.
Oh
And
wow, I like that.
yeah,
I've never heard that.
and um, and that's what I like about a poem too. Is when you're done, you're done. There's no finishing. There's no conclusion necessarily. It's up to you, you know.
Yeah.
And so, finding poetry and free verse like that really helped me with my writing. But it was when I started structuring the songs where it all started coming together. You know, you need more discipline when it's going to fit rhythmically. But yeah, I mean, that all kind of hit me at once, you know. So it's really kind of been a directionless thing.
Did that happen when you were like a teenager? Like
A young teenager, yeah.
Yeah.
And I really, I have a few neurological issues actually, because it's something that happened when I was younger. But I actually have a really hard time sleeping.
Oh, so
And so-
you're a vampire. Sorry. So
Six
it's not-
people have said that in the last week.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I act like a 100-year-old or whatever, or whatever that is. Or
Is Dylan Brockway immortal, you guys?
I'm just an
I
old
don't
man.
know.
I started when I was 12, 13. It happened very suddenly, but there was a dip in how much I was sleeping.
How much do you sleep?
So it was 12 or 13. I experienced my first involuntarily sleepless night, where I laid down for 7 hours and I didn't fall asleep once. And it was a very conscious thing. It wasn't like, oh, I've dozed.
Was it like sleep paralysis or like anything like that, or?
So what the doctor said after a few sleep studies, you know, the people I was living with at the time didn't believe me. And I spoke in exaggeration, like I said. I loved the metaphorical, the sky is falling type of
Sure.
wording, and I was very dramatic.
Okay.
So much has changed. And when I would tell them, they'd be like, oh, okay, you know, sleepless nights, you know, come and go. But they didn't really understand, you know. So I stopped worrying about making noise at night. I stopped staying in my little, you know, place where I was sleeping all night. And I made it obvious, you know, I'm not messing around.
Yeah, this is a real thing. I can't sleep. Yeah.
I was scared. I was terrified, especially going to school and asking kids, asking teachers about this experience. Have you ever had anything happen, you know? And everyone was like, no. Like,
Oh,
never.
no.
And I was like, oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. You're expecting to hear, like, when
Yeah,
you
at
tell
least
somebody about,
somebody.
like, a sickness or something's wrong with your body, you expect people to be like, oh, don't worry about it, right away. Like, jump on it, like, throw, like, whatever the term is, throw water on it. The American idioms, we were just going over a ton of American idioms we don't understand. But,
There's a lot of them.
close but no cigar.
Yeah, there's one. That's a good one.
Cigar. But, you know, you expect people to just throw what? Stop sneezing. You expect people to just say, no, you're crazy, but no one said that. And so I had a sleep study, and they hooked me up. They said, oh, this is you're going to come in, and you're just going to pretend it's a natural night. So bring
Yeah.
anything that you would have used or played around with for the few hours before you go to sleep, and then you'll just lay down, and we'll just see how your sleeping is.
Huh.
But they're very, very, very dismissive. They're like, you know, a lot of people that say they have sleeping problems, they come in here and they sleep pretty well. And it's like, oh, so there are people who maybe it's their perception that they're not sleeping well, and it turns out they're sleeping more than they think. And then there are people, I'm sure, who have been dishonest, or I'm not sleeping, or whatever, I'm sure. But who knows why they've gathered, you know, that type of impression. But that's what they let me know.
Oh.
And so I
what?
was like, okay, so I'm going to have all this time, and I'll lay down when I want to lay down. But no, at like 9 p.m., they come around, they're like,
Did they
okay.
hook you up to like machines?
yeah,
and
they're
stuff?
like, okay, 9 o'clock came around. They're like, lay down flat on your back. So I laid down, and they connect me to all these things on my upper chest, on my arms.
Whoa.
And they're like, okay. And I was like, oh, it was you testing something? And they're like, no, you're just going to stay like this until the morning. And I was like, this is not natural, though. And I stayed awake all night. And they were like,
Were they surprised?
like floored. Yeah.
Whoa.
And they're like, oh, okay. I went back for another one a little while later. and they gave me a sedative, a medication to fall asleep. And they were still looking through the sheets, all the results, and I had like 26 arousals every hour, which means I was waking up 26 times an hour on average with the sedative. And so they found that my brain waves don't slow down like they should even when I do fall asleep. That it's hard for my brain waves to find rest. And that doesn't mean like, oh, I'm so smart, I'm thinking all the time. It just means just like a heart wave, heartbeat, slows down when you fall asleep. Physically, that's fine with me, but it's the brain activity doesn't really.
What's the longest you've ever stayed awake?
A lot of people. I went through a phase in high school where I'd go at night and then I'd go 2, and then after the second night it'd be really scary because I wouldn't know.
Did you start seeing stuff?
Oh yeah, like shadows.
Start hallucinate.
I wouldn't use the word shadow because that invokes a lot of strange impressions of people. But
shadow people.
Yeah. What?
Yeah.
What? But no. In like my peripheral vision, I would see like maybe if I were to see him move, while looking at you, you can kind of see that.
Sure, your peripheral vision will pick something up. Peripheral. I can't talk today, obviously, you guys.
So it kind of be like these dark shadows, like in that area of my view, Wow. And so at first it was kind of like that, And then it was November, December. I walked my then girlfriend in 9th, 10th grade.
Yeah.
Some girl I'd smooched on the lips. Ooh. Getting a little PG-13 in here.
Uh-oh, PG-13. They're holding hands, guys. Oh man.
I won't go into that. I dropped her off. On like Friday Drive. I drop her off, and I'm walking down the street on my way to where I was living, and I just had a T-shirt on. It was like 35 degrees, and I just passed out on the way home. A mailman who thought I was diabetic called the 911 and ordered me a very expensive ambulance.
Good Lord.
My history teacher at the time, Mr. Kidd, shout out to Mr. Kidd and eBay in China, pulled over too, and I was not awake for that. But then 2 days later, he comes in, hey, Dylan, are you feeling okay? Like in front of everybody. And I was like, yeah, just be quiet sometimes.
Yeah, don't maybe not tell the whole class about it.
Hey,
Dick.
You're cool. Just shut up, man. Stop talking.
Yeah, man.
But that was when it really became scary to everybody. But it was really when I realized I have no control over this. I'm not going to. So I really very much embraced the not sleeping thing. And so a lot of my hours in the night became kind of designated writing hours. And that you hear about the Beatles and how, the 10,000 hours thing. Have you ever heard about that? Like where
Absolutely,
you practice something for... And the Beatles had that time, not just
that's
practicing.
How you perfect something, yeah.
But not just practicing, but they had the practicing time all together. And that's why they were so tight. That's why they were such a close-knit.
Dude, they played a lot. They played mostly cover. Didn't they start as a cover band? Pretty much. They just covered other people's rock and roll songs.
They would play at the Cavern for like 10 hours a day, too. I know. That's crazy. All through Germany, they'd be playing 8 hours a day. I'm sorry. But, I got the writing time in, and it wasn't like I was bettering. I wasn't going in one direction, but I got the time in. Every single night I'd be writing for hours and hours and hours. And I think that it's not about quality, and I don't worry about that word or that meaning when I'm writing something. We're not thinking. I'm not thinking necessarily. I'm writing this to set a bar or whatever. It's very much the cathartic, therapeutic. How can I get these feelings out? Without putting a hole in a wall or without sobbing.
Yeah, I've done that.
Myself to sleep. But sometimes you get so crazy. You don't have any more tears to cry. You just, you need to get it out. In some way.
Some kind of outlet. Music is a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful gift for any type of emotional outlet.
So a lot of people ask me why I'm able to write anywhere, kind of all the time, and I do write all the time. I always have notebooks on me. I always have paper. It always needs to be paper and pen. But
Nice.
It's because I put those hours in. It's just a level of comfort, and I did not designate that to the guitar. So that's the real difference for me. Why I'd consider myself more of a writer than a guitar player.
I got you. Well, on that note, why don't we hear a song from you?
Oh, okay.
You ready to play some music for these wonderful viewers and listeners?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
All right.
Sure.
All right. What's the first song you're gonna play for us?
I don't know. I haven't recorded anything. I don't have any album or any EP or anything like that. it's something that, just like writing and then performing a song where you can change these things, on a whim or by accident, on purpose, over time they evolve. You record something and it's like pressed and it's just so final. And that's the fear I've had with recording music my whole life.
Yeah, I mean I approach the demo land, and I do the demo, and then if I'm working with other musicians, what I'll do is how I overcome that kind of stuff is I just I just get a demo done, and if I can get a demo done, then
Put it on that one. Put it on that thing.
Put it on what?
That thing.
Oh, the Parsons podcast.
You can listen to his demos, but you can also listen to Ryan's Parsons podcast. Sorry, Parsons podcast, airing every time you're on the internet. All right, back to you, Ryan.
Thank you very much for that.
We don't need demos anymore. We have his podcast. We get to hear his beautiful voice, singing, speaking, everything.
Yeah. Actually, I should do some content of me playing, huh? I haven't done anything.
I'll interview you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Absolutely.
that'd be fun. We'll just switch spots.
Ryan, firing line here. These are not the easy questions. When the hell did you get so handsome? Tell me the truth.
Well, see, I drank this elixir. Okay.
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah, Keanu Reeves gave it to me.
Oh yeah,
We're
and
good
our
friends.
podcast host here filled our minds with conspiracy theories before we started recording.
Well, I just thought it was funny because I was rolling through Facebook, and clickbait, man, it's so easy to click on something that's like, oh, that's preposterous.
I'm an
This guy-
American. I believe all those things that you showed me. I do believe them
You
wholeheartedly.
believe that guy really traveled back to the year, or traveled in the future to the year 6000?
Oh yeah, I'm way too free to be held back by logic and reason. This is America.
I can believe whatever I want, and I can say that I believe whatever I want. And actually, that's a good thing. Hey, if you really believe that you went to the future, man, good for you.
Trump would have shut this whole thing down if he could have. So yes, I'm glad we could have.
I think he did at first. I think he.
It was that. You're not
We said
cursing
so-
on this, right?
what-
You're
oh,
not
well, you
cur-
can. Yeah, you
It's that
can. You can say
goddamn
whatever.
elf on the shelf that we were talking about.
Yeah, he saw the little son of a bitch, and he
That
fucking
little guy.
crawled.
Of course he
underneath-
saw
He
it.
crawled underneath the equipment and turned the fucking power off. That's
Okay,
what happened.
I was talking loud noise about him. To be honest, to be fair, I was insulting him.
Hey, we're just kidding, dude. Don't turn it off again, okay?
Everyone here
Jesus.
is terrified.
You hear this little behind you, like, what the hell?
You know those like out of tune bells or pianos? We just hear like the Christmas carols start
Oh my
playing.
God, no! What a nightmare! Can you imagine a legion of those little fuckers?
They're all yes. We've seen horror movies about Christmas.
There have been.
But any of them, when you go up there, whenever they depict the North Pole, what is going on up there?
Yeah, that's some scary stuff. Some scary stuff.
NATO needs to intervene. I'm so serious. Okay,
Well,
all
on
right.
that night, let's get a song for these wonderful people.
Will we go back to
And,
speak? Are we done speaking now?
No. We'll come back to speaking.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just for the. Okay.
I'm actually gonna grab a beer while you play your song. Do you want one?
Do you have anything harder?
No, I don't.
That's okay. That's fine then. That's all right. Beer's scary. Beer's too manly for me. Do you want me to just start it up?
Yeah, just go ahead and start it off. I'll be back in just a second.
Thank you. Yeah, of course. Fuck it. I don't think I've. All right. This is going to be a day of events. I have never drank a full beer before. I'm going to do that tonight.
Really?
I've had a handle of Jack Daniels before, but and never 12 ounces of beer.
You've never had 12 ounces of beer?
I've had 24 ounces probably of liquor at once, and probably never 12 ounces of beer in my whole life.
You're just not a fan?
I don't know.
okay.
It just
It's
seems like
okay.
liquor was always such a shortcut, you know?
Yeah, that's true.
And liquor in the last few years really did become kind of it tore down a lot of walls between me and myself while writing, you know. So I think a lot of writers and musicians
Well,
deal with that in a more,
I can definitely relate to that.
but it's more
sure.
stimulating than people realize, I think, sometimes too. It's not just getting drunk and partying, you know.
No, it's You're an artist, so it's stimulating something. All right. What's the name of the song?
I'll play the one that's already on the Facebook thing or whatever. This one's called Down the Same Roadway.
Ooh, okay. Right.
Should I just start? It's a quiet. I'm trying to. I'll pick the quieter ones.
Just make sure you get up on that mic.
That sounding okay?
Yeah, it sounds good.
All right. We can always edit this down, right?
Oh yeah.
This is live. Oh fuck.
Oh shit. No, I'm not doing it live yet, man. Not yet. Maybe in the future.
Down the same roadway, babe, I've been driving all day and all night. Won't be too loud. Didn't have any choice in the case. Ain't looking for a woman or a fight. I'm moving fast, 'cause I have to. One man to tell is out of reach, out of breath, and can't be blamed. This is not for no prize, no new lease on life. Ain't nothing here to claim, but it's something that can't say that I just sat there and knew. Those guards take those citizens, returned by fire, traded line to line. They've proven to you now it's supreme and fearsome power can bleed, be made to crawl, beg for their life. Can't you see, babe?
She's gonna cut it.
Before you see what I've done, remember, I didn't start this fire. But you know I'd sacrifice my own life on the line. You know, babe, if it's required, why shan't I bleed, babe? Listening for bombardiers, lonely that I'd be without you. There's nothing warm in here. There's nothing more that I can do. The summer gone, his clothes had grown thin. Round around, soon be hard and cold. Where he took his last things, took the last train. 'Cause there ain't nothing here now to hold him on the shore line. Rebecca, I did everything I could to grow for you, and I wanted you so badly. But I know that after all that's been said and done, well, it just may mean that you don't love me anymore this time.
Oh yeah! All right.
I've never performed.
I like that wonderful chord in the end. I like the seventh chord.
Cheers.
That was nice. Cheers, buddy.
This is fucking strange.
Yeah.
I
Drinking
felt
beer.
so weird recording in here. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I
no,
was
it's all
so
good.
conscious about every movement I made. This is
all good.
so there's a lot of expensive stuff very close to me, more expensive than I'm used to dealing with, but also there are other studios close by.
Oh yeah.
Very close. Oh yeah, all on
Really?
the sides of the wall. So yeah, I'm being considerate of the sound and everything.
That's true. There are many other apartments. We're in a condominium, so there's other people around here.
Kate, this is for you.
And in fact, any moment my wife's gonna come in,
Oh my goodness. And
so
I,
we might
I
get to see my wife
not
for.
just you and Chelsea. I love all three of you so much.
Oh,
all of my
thank
heart.
you. Yeah, our son's gonna have a lot of love.
Any week now, right?
Oh man, he's gonna pop out probably. They're saying January 27th.
My birthday's on the 23rd, so
Ooh.
Oh, yeah,
Well,
try
see,
to-
I think he's gonna be a little early.
predictions.
So
Is this gonna
you
air
know.
before then?
this will air. Yes, it should.
Pred-
Yes, it should. It
Pred-
should air
predictions.
before then.
Predictions.
January 21st is
Hey,
what I think.
Abu. Due date is the
what I think.
27th. What are we thinking? First baby too.
Yeah,
Mind
first
you,
one.
a lot of times I can.
My
I'm
son,
gonna say
when my
for
son's
the
gonna
day,
be born.
for the exact day. He said the 21st.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go. Okay, so I'm gonna go. I'll go February 3rd
Ooh, you think he's gonna be late, huh?
or 1 week after. Yeah.
Oh, she's gonna be
Like I was
waddling
telling
around by then. I love her so much. I'm wondering where she is because she's not home yet, which is odd. But
She was waiting for somebody though. She said, right?
oh, true. Yeah, she said that one of her coworkers was late. So.
That's always fun.
But waiting for somebody to get there so you can go home. Jesus,
Yes.
she's a trooper, man.
Oh my
she's
gosh,
a
hard
trooper.
worker. Hard
Yeah.
worker indeed.
But that was a great song, man. When did you write that?
I wrote those are it's kind of like a 12-minute song, but they're all verses. It's kind of a story about people realizing that I never explained a song before.
Sorry, man. Sorry to put you
the
on
longer
the
thing.
spot.
No, the longer version is about 40 verses, and it's about a world essentially falling into war between establishment and populace, as opposed to nation state and civilian, and people realizing that a coming bloody, I guess revolution would be a blanket term, is not as easygoing as they thought it'd be.
Well, I mean, a lot of horrible things come along with
Absolutely.
that kind of
Shout out to France.
that kind of thing. You know what I mean? That
Oh,
kind
sure.
of revolution is not going to be clean,
No,
so to
no.
speak.
No, Allen Ginsberg.
People don't want to
spoke
give
about-
up power, man.
No, bloodless revolution. Yeah, that's true. Oh my God.
But that's so cool that you approach songwriting from the word perspective and the storytelling perspective, the very very folk music kind of way to go. You know what I mean? And
Yeah,
you know what I mean? And I love folk music and I love country and I love all genres of music. You know, and storytelling is very important when it comes to.
I love the nuclear rock thing so much, and there's so much possibility with it. But growing up, I don't know if you ever felt like this too, but growing up, I just never found anybody I could rely on, like I could myself. Like there's nobody around me at any point that was as motivated as I wanted to be. And so when you strip all that down and say it'll just be me and this guitar, there's nothing holding you back. It's all whatever you're putting into it is what you're getting at. There's no like having to associate with making sure they're all on the same page or anything like that. It's all you,
Yeah.
and so a lot less to work with.
Well, I mean and it sounds extremely ambitious too, which is
Oh, yeah.
you know what I mean, to put that in perspective, or at least for myself, when you say that there's nobody you can really rely on except for yourself. I mean, that's so true.
Oh, my whole life.
You know, I mean, even with people who are surrounded with love, everyone's going to have a moment in their life where, if you want to change something or if you want to do something, I mean, 9 times out of 10, you're going to have to do it yourself.
Oh yeah.
No, nobody's gonna pave the way for you. You
Oh,
know,
absolutely.
ever. I mean, I don't care if you come from the richest family in the world with the most loving parents and and sisters and brothers and friends.
And I don't.
Well, not everybody does it. Some people do, but you know, I mean, you see
Absolutely.
like stories. I've read stories of kids who grew up extremely wealthy and they're jumping off bridges, man, because they have so much. You
Classic.
know, they have so much stress, and it's like they're under the gun, and they feel like they have to
Rebel without a cause.
hold up to something that they feel like they can't even reach, and they can't reach that potential, so they're like, "Huh, yeah, screw it."
I
You know?
think that a lot of restlessness that is a catalyst for art is people that find that there's not necessarily anything wrong, and that is not the problem, but they still don't feel content, and that can be mind-bogglingly frustrating to have nothing to point at, but
Yeah.
to just not feel good, to just not feel content,
You
like
know,
rebel
sometimes
without a
it's
cause.
okay.
you know?
Sometimes it's okay to feel not content and not in control, and
It's okay.
maybe-
It's okay not to hug on the holidays. It's okay to kiss boys. You know, it's
yeah,
okay.
man, it's okay, dude.
It's
You're
all
allowed
okay.
to feel feelings. You know what I mean? And when you start pushing them down, I think that's where you start having problems. You know, and
Absolutely.
you know what I mean? And,
Absolutely.
And that's why music is so beautiful and such a great outlet.
And I have such a hard time opening myself up to people, but in text or writing, you know, that can be just as,
Therapeutic.
yeah, just as beneficial. Absolutely.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. What's up? No, big time, big time. I mean, art, dude. Art is such a wonderful thing. It's such an expressive thing, and I honestly don't know what I would do without it. I mean, I don't know what I would do if I couldn't sit down and play music. You know what I mean? If I never would have found music, what the
A lot
hell
of
would
us
I
would
be
be in
doing?
prison, probably.
Dude, I probably would, or I would be dead.
Seriously. We'd be some of those kids that had jumped off the bridge.
Exactly. You know. So, and you know, sorry about those kids. I mean, obviously they were in a
I'd
place
be
where it's
sorry
real-
about me, too, if I didn't have
fucking A.
art.
Yeah.
If I didn't have music.
I don't
I
even
would
know.
be there.
Like, just thinking about it, I don't even know what the hell I would do. I guess I would figure something out. Maybe I'd probably be more into sports. Maybe I have no idea, man. I honestly don't know. Martial arts.
Don't
You know.
threaten me, man. I'm serious.
Oh man. All right. Well, why don't we play another song?
Should I do a softer one?
If you want, it's up to you. I figure we can go until about 10:30 without, you know, getting in big trouble.
I'll do a louder one then for now, since it's not 10.
Oh, walk them days. Oh, walk them days. Oh, everybody, you won't take nothing, but they tell you to explain, baby, what you kiss. Well, everybody say, everybody won't, everybody play, baby, everybody won't. So get walking across the floor, get walking, can't take it no more. Get walking, get a two-step floor. Everybody say they want something, man, I only want your touch. Everybody said they got something. Everybody talks to
I don't have words to that one yet.
Lovely. That was lovely.
I'll play one more if you want.
Oh, awesome.
Never performed so sober in my life to anybody in my. I'm so
I
sorry.
feel very honored. Thank you, man.
you could forgive me. I'd really like to apologize. I've been going through some changes in my mind. Don't worry, I don't mean to justify. I know that I've hurt you. You know that I'm to blame. Babe, I can't go on without you. There's so much that I have to do to make up to you. I'm sitting here alone in the dark, thinking of all those things I'd want to say, in hopes that we'll be close again someday. All I have now is my guitar I like to play. And I was insecure and vacant, said too much to criticize. Now that I'm not with you, I'd give the world to look into your ocean eyes. 'Cause I didn't even know what love felt like till I met you.
I didn't have any words to that one either. I kind of make
That was really beautiful. I really, really like that a lot.
I make a lot of mistakes.
Oh, nah, man, that was great. That was
Not
really,
playing.
really good.
No, not playing.
Oh, okay. Just in life, I make a lot of mistakes too, man. Nobody's perfect, you know.
You're pretty close, right?
Nah, but I think
never performed with headphones on in my whole life, or sitting down.
so. These are all firsts.
Never had a beer. I don't watch the news.
Damn. Well, thank you so much for having these milestones.
I never
on my
performed.
podcast.
I never performed so consciously quietly in my life as to not terrify anybody. Ryan has seen my performing live. It's a little different.
Oh, dude, it's awesome. And actually, while we're on here, you should probably. Do you have any shows coming up that you want to plug or anything?
I just had one. I just finished one. I don't have any planned for the rest of the year, actually.
Oh, really? Well, when I put this out, I'll make sure that I do an intro and let me know if you have any shows coming up, and I'll plug the show and make sure people come and see you live, because let me tell you guys something. Dylan Brockway Live is...
Tell him, Ryan.
You have to see it. You just have to see it. It's...
No. Don't pay. Come
it's
see it, yeah.
Fucking amazing.
I wouldn't pay for it. I'd come see it, though.
Well, come see it and then give this man money or something. Buy him a drink. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
he's been through a lot, for Christ's sake. Help him out. Get him a glass of water.
well, no, buy him a drink. Listen to his songs. Listen to his music.
I
and
begged the
you will
audience.
not regret it.
Last time you saw me on a stage, I begged the audience for alcohol.
Oh yeah, you did, and then I bought you a drink.
Shame. Absolute shame.
Well, it worked.
I'm not without it. All those people worrying that I am. I do feel it.
But thank you so much for being on the podcast, man. And believe it or not, I think we've done almost an hour.
I really believe in this. as long as you can
Yeah.
keep it up and running.
Well, I'm just gonna keep doing it. There's no reason not
we had
to.
we had a crash in the studio.
We did. We had a little power surge problem.
The Polish aren't going to bring us down today. You can cut that out.
I don't know what gremlins fucking reset.
You can cut that out, please.
I don't know who reset my shit or what happened. It happened once before, and it's some kind of. I think it's something with the power strip that I'm using. So
it happened during recording too, right?
Yeah, it happened while I was recording Matt, and but that's okay.
Matt's a solid
no big
fella.
deal.
I
Whatever.
like Matt. I like Matt's music a lot.
Oh, dude, isn't he great?
Oh, Matt's incredible.
Well, thank you. So I'm gonna end this. Thank you so much for being on the podcast.
I'd like to thank you, Ryan. Ryan, this is a beautiful thing you've got going here, man.
Oh, thanks, dude. Yeah, I'm gonna try and have as many artists on here as I can.
Absolutely.
And
I
we'll
think
have
that
you back.
I think that either. I mean, I would do it totally, and I'd love to. I'd feel so honored. But maybe Chelsea could interview you, because Ryan, you're a multi-talented musician.
That's true. This is true.
You're an incredibly talented
I am a
artist. An
musician.
incredibly talented artist. And I don't know if you remember the first time I ever saw this fellow here playing the drums with a guy named Lawrence, who was also on the show.
Yep, Lawrence Rio. Mm-hmm.
He just got behind the drums that I'd never seen Ryan play the drums, and he gets up there, and it was like the tightest blues, like 12-bar type of jamming I'd like ever heard at Fat Tuesdays. I was like, who is this playing the drums? Oh my gosh, it blew me away.
Thank you very much, man. I like to play.
I captured it on digital video.
Nice.
Specific.
Oh, sweet. Let me get a copy of that. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you tune in.
Cut to this guy right here.
And subscribe.
Cut to this bad boy. Boom.
Make sure you subscribe and check out the website.
Parsons Podcast.
And actually, if you want, send me some pictures so I can put you on here with the artist bios. I'm gonna be putting a little bio on here, whatever you want.
Oh, there's Greg and
Greg
Lawrence
on here. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Oh, they can see this, right?
Yep. Everybody can see this right now. Just check it out. Subscribe. You can listen to it on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify.
Go check out Greg. Go check out Lawrence. Go check out Ryan too.
Yep.
Don't worry about me
see
too
us
much.
play. Come out and see us play, you guys.
Supporting local art's very imperative to a community, I think.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah, every sect of art and creativity that you'll find in your home city. And I don't mean like we're closest to DC. I mean where you live.
Yeah.
Whatever you're seeing. I mean that's the culture of your town. That is the life, the breath of your town,
Yeah.
And with this conformist thing, Twitter and Facebook, everybody can conform to everyone now. It's not like you have these little O's specific to these different towns. Things have gotten so blanketed now. That's sickening. That people are wearing the same shoes, the same style in Boston as Miami, as Pendleton, Oregon, as, and it's strange. So I think finding that cultural identity of a city is important. And you get that with, it starts with the art, the creation,
That's part of why I'm doing this, because I feel like not enough people realize that how much talent and how much wonderful music and art really is out there, and not just in our area.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm gonna have people from all over the place.
Oh yeah, you don't have to be famous to be so talented, and that's what a lot of people don't realize,
Yeah, well,
that's not how it lines up.
Well, unfortunately, famous people are the ones that get all the views, but
not for me, man. I can't find anybody in the mainstream that inspires me, and I don't feel unique in that. I don't feel alone in that.
No, that's true. I feel the same way. A lot of my favorite bands are local bands.
Plato used to say, the philosopher used to say that even back in ancient Greece, they needed to be paying attention to people who fought as gladiators and stupid celebrity type of people. That's not the word they use, obviously, but he thought that we should be looking towards people that he referred to as like guardians, people who are stimulating, who show people that they should be taking the next steps intellectually, spiritually, creatively, in terms of their creative functions. And you don't have a lot of that inspiration now. We've lost a lot of that.
The reason why I have it is because I go out looking for it.
You have to, and it's right there. It's right there.
It's out there, and I mean, I've started playing music and performing, music.
Do you have a record?
I have a couple, but they're with bands.
You don't have a solo though.
No, I don't have a solo record. I'm working on it.
You got to get on that, man.
Yeah, I know. I'm working on that, but ever since I started playing out, I've discovered this world and this world of music where it's like, oh wait, there's bands that aren't on the fucking radio.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? And
yeah.
and a lot of bands, they didn't give a fuck about the radio. I think that's why I love
Don't want
punk
it,
rock
don't
so
need it.
much. They're like when I would go to a punk rock show and they would ask me for a CD, they'd be like, fuck that. We haven't recorded anything. You want to see us? You got to come see us play live.
That's what I like
and it's
too.
like, damn, okay, this is punk rock. You know what I mean? It's like, okay, I get it now. This is something different, and I want to be a part of this. And I think that more people should go out to shows. Go to DC. Go to Epicure. Go to Fat Tuesdays. Go to
Epicure Cafe. Oh yeah,
Epicure Cafe. Go
is
see
a place
shows.
that I'm very close to. So shout out to Epicure, as the philosopher too.
Hell yeah.
If you're listening.
All right, guys. Be good. I'll see you next
Wait,
time.
you gotta have to do the thumbs up. There it is.
Check it out, guys.
Signature. Thank you
All
so
right.
much.
You're welcome. Thank you, man. Have a good night.